Hey guys, I don't usually mess with the low hanging fruit, but I have to. I have to address Jesse on Fire because I love this guy. I love his channel. I'm not doing the handshake agreement, bro. I watch like 10 of your videos a week. It would be way too much to have your fucking big red head in my video feed that much. Just be excessive. And this guy, I love his stuff, but he is the master of low hanging fruit. So, something jumps into his lap like a War Machine type situation, or what happened with Phil Baroni, R.I.P. Paula. It's just right up his alley. So let's go there. Um, there's nothing else to say other than this is a horrific tragedy. I'm surprised that it really hasn't made mainstream news. It seems like my friends who aren't into UFC and fighting and all this stuff never heard about Phil Baroni, never heard about this tragedy overseas. And probably for the best. There's nothing to be learned here. It's just completely monstrous human being who did something horrible to an innocent mother who apparently uh, was a cancer survivor at the time as well, which makes it even more disturbing. So I just wanted to address something that was really ticking me off, which is like Stephan Bonner seems like such a great individual. I never met him. I never had the honor to meet him or interview him, but like as a representative for our sport, for martial arts in general, he just seemed like a very well-spoken, intelligent person. I know that he was suffering from CTE, and I know he had the kind of country bumpkin slurred speech, but ever since the Ultimate Fighter days, just seems like such an intelligent, communicative, atypical fighter. So, Jesse, for you to be throwing him under the bus, saying, hey, he was hanging out with this guy over in Mexico, yada yada. I mean, all of us journalists were hanging out with these guys too. Does that implicate us? Ariel Helwani had a bunch of interviews with Phil Baroni, so he was technically hanging out with them. And when you talk about the social contract he violated by breaking some TV screen, I mean, where does that put Conor McGregor after busting the window of that shuttle van? So nothing, absolutely nothing to say about the Phil Baroni case. It's a tragedy and it should be left alone. And somebody died. So let's, I know you like low-hanging fruit, bro, but enough. Hopefully something like the Diego Sanchez coach thing, or hopefully not something not as tragic as this. More low-hanging fruit will come this year. I Google it every day. It's fascinating to me, but there just doesn't seem to be much there, and it seems to be a horribly, horrifically tragic thing. And for you to question what autopsy results were, and say that was I know it may not be a first world country and everything, but I'm pretty sure they have qualified coroners there, and however horrific what they reported was, it wasn't rumor. It was fact. And this is one of the most horrific incidents in my life that I've ever heard of. It's so shocking. So to chalk it up to CTE or fighting or this or that, it's no. This is a person who was a monster, who was uniquely a killer, which, his dad was like a hitman for the Gambino crime family, or the Gotti or something like that, He was a tough guy, killing man and a coke lord. And if you want to live that lifestyle, there you go. But yeah, don't put Stephan Bonner in it and then be like, whoa. I'm sure some fancy fighter wouldn't have died of staph. Bro, I train and manage fighters. I got 15 signed to me. 7 of them have had staph. One of them got it on his butt from sitting on a ring. I mean, and these guys train at the biggest, they train at sponsored facilities. You can't keep these gyms clean enough. So, late great fighter Sean Gannon told me that once. He's like, God forbid you should ever, and this is the reason why he recommended I start rolling with gi, which I did. I switched to gi instead of no gi. It's because people with no gi get shit tons of staph. You go to the hospital, just like Stephan Bonner, like the only people who get staph are like, they're not used to seeing fighters. They're used to seeing junkies have it. Like, that is the disease of junkies, of IV drug users. So when fighters come into the hospital, it's a common thing that they're like, they get the Stephan Bonner treatment. They get treated like they're just indigent, crazy, dirty, irresponsible, which is kind of what you were alluding to. But, it's another tragedy. You see this guy publicly losing his mind, and it's so sad that none of his friends had enough closeness to him to step in and intervene. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that is low-hanging fruit, right? Or maybe not. Maybe it's just a reminder that we should all ascend and aspire to the more peaceful, sublime aspects of life.